And so I looked at, the revenue share was just a natural. We had to do that. Then the other piece was equity. I went into my credential office. I asked for some equity. When I was there with Hugh, I was turned down, even though I was the number 3 agent in the office, and that was going to grow. I went to Keller. I asked for some equity. I was offered a 1% token interest, even though we did 30% of the office volume. And then when we left, literally, there was a small team that was coming up below me at the time, and he was given the office because they needed somebody to just take over the bills. So he ended up getting. So if anybody wants to know how Ben Kinney became a broker owner, that's actually how that was. He was actually in my office, so that was kind of that historical portion, but equity was a big deal for me. And so we just literally said, how do we make the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet? And it really comes down to how do you build a scalable business. A truly scalable business solves a big problem that hasn't been solved before.
That's right.
And for real estate agents up until really EXP never really had a retirement program. I think that was brought up earlier. There was not a retirement program in real estate. And so the big need was, how do we build a real estate brokerage that actually creates a true meaningful retirement? And how do we make sure that this thing wins over the long haul? And so that's one of the reasons why you always hear us talking about building the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet. That's what we go and do every day. Jeff, Michael, Jim, Amy, Jen, who else here is on leadership? Dave's here somewhere. Where's Dave? Okay. So, but you look at, that's the mantra that we have, is just how do we build the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet? And it really is the rallying cry. The purpose of an organization is not to make money. It's a byproduct of doing something well. And so when you think about building the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet, some of you guys asked me the slide yesterday when Dave put up their NPS. There was somebody leaned over. What's NPS? Like, you don't know what NPS is? Yeah, and I'm sure most of you probably don't know what it is, but it's called Net Promoter Score. It's on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely would you refer a friend or colleague to join EXP, and that actually gives us meaningful data around how do we continue to be the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet. And I love the numbers too. I think he had 74s up there for most of the stuff in terms of NPS. And I've actually been thinking about in the background. I used to use this and Jason Guessing back in 2014 and 15, we started to play with NPS, and then 15, 16, it sort of got implemented, and then it fell off, and then got implemented, and it fell off, and then Jeff joined us. Jeff made it part of our ecosystem. Like, he really made it part of how we measure the organization. So NPS allows us to continue to be super agent-centric, but we used to have the thing that when we're over 70, the company's growing, when we're below 70, you know, it's struggling a little bit. And I'm starting to think about the fact that, you know, we need to strive for, you know, 75s, 76s, 80s, which would be unheard of. 70s already world class. I'm thinking, how can we go from a 70 to an 80? Something that would be entirely unheard of. How do we do something crazy and audacious? Because that's actually what it's going to take to be 500,000 agents in 5 years. You know, and that's our commitment. Our commitment is to actually build out this company. You know, and when we think about things like our revenue share plus program. So, you know, a few years ago we said, okay, we need to make sure that the revenue share doesn't kill the company, because it literally was. It was getting a little crazy in terms of the percentage. It was getting up to 75% of the company dollars getting paid out. And we're having to, you know, hire staff and do all the things that we needed to do, and we're showing losses like crazy. And you know, it was kind of scary trying to figure that out. And finally, we figured out, oh, if we just do 50% of the company dollar, the company has enough money to run on, and we've got enough money to build out forever in the rev share program. And then we here recently we started to think about, okay, we've got all these other services that we want to be part of the ecosystem, and how can we align the compensation on these other services. So we started to look at, how do we think about, mortgage, title, coaching, and all these other things. And we started to play with the idea that what if we took 50% of the net profit from those things and actually added it and enhanced the already the revenue share program at 50% of company dollar. We actually enhance it so that literally that number can just go up, and as Dave said, can go up pretty much unlimited. It's really how creative can we be in terms of finding products and services. So, wanted to bring up also right now. I'll bring up Glenn Stearns and Sean Patricus, but the Success Lending has been growing. We've been growing that footprint now. We've started working on really last year at this event was the first time that we brought our leadership teams together. Kind Lending and EXP got together here at Cabo for the first time to actually chat about what this might look like if we could put it together. And a year later, I'm going to have Glenn and Sean come up and actually talk about what has happened in the last year, where are we at, and then I'll jump back up on stage after they're done.